Hi, welcome to Your Journey. I'm your host, Kevin James Jackson, and I want to thank you for tuning in to this show and listening to me and being part of this show. Because I think time is the most important element that we could have in this world. And I think that for you to tune in this show and sacrifice your time is something that I truly appreciate, and I promise you I will never take advantage of that. This show is about mental health awareness and, more importantly, self-care and self-love. Because I believe that self-care and self-love is the most important thing that you can do for yourself. Because if you can't take care of yourself, then it's going to be kind of hard for you to take care of other people. And also, I've known a lot of people, including myself, I will tell you about myself, where you spend so much time and effort at taking care of other people that you end up being spent, that you end up being burned out, that you end up having nothing inside of you. And it makes you feel empty, it makes you feel alone, and it makes you feel like unwanted and unloved. And so that's why I think it's important that we learn how to take care of ourselves first before we can move in and start taking care of other people. And I'm talking about children, mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, sisters, friends, or whoever, that you got to learn how to take care of yourself. And so that's what this show is about. It's going to be about self-care and also about mental health, because I think mental health is so important, and that mental health, it affects every aspect of your life if you don't have a healthy mental health. And so that's why I wanted to start this show and do something around that. So to kind of break the taboo, to kind of give people a platform to talk about it. And also not only that, but to identify and understand it, but also to give skills and help and support the people who may be going through these things so they know how to deal with it on a day-to-day basis. Why am I starting this show? Okay, the reason I'm starting this show is because, especially, I've been wanting to do something for 2 years. I felt that I had this burning desire inside of myself that I had to do something else, that I wasn't doing my part, that I had to do more. And especially during the civil unrest, the pandemic, the economic recession, and structural and systemic racism, when you see people out there protesting and you see people out there who are fighting for funding, fighting for changes in policies and laws and to make changes, and I applaud that and I admire that. But I want to do something that was positive, that can affect change, but I want to do something that I felt that I can do, that I wanted to do, that I felt that I was really contributing and being part of the solution and not being part of the problem. And so I felt that mental health and giving people something, to a platform to talk about it, to discuss it, and to talk about some real topics, and also to give people concrete solutions that they can take home, that they can use today from their home. Like after this session, they can go home and they can do whatever skills or coping skills or supports or whatever they can use right at that point at that time. And if I'm not able to, also to just give places where they can go get support and resources in order to deal with some of the issues that they may be having in their life. And I felt that mental health, we all know that mental health revolves around depression and bipolar and post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety and feeling overwhelmed and low self-esteem and inadequacies. It also deals with trauma, and how trauma can cause these things and cause you to feel the way you feel. And those traumas could be physical abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, abandonment, separation, the passing of a loved one, losing a job loss. So all those things can definitely have an effect on anybody's mental health. And so I felt that that's something that we have to address, and it's something that I should address and I look at, and it's something that I love, and I feel that I do have information that can help people and can have an effect on people in their life. So that's why I felt the need to do this. And I got to be honest that I have been being pushed for years by my friend, Dr. Carol Collins Analaja. She has been pushing me for years to do something with what I have. And also a friend, my friend named Nick, he's also been pushing me as well. And so I felt that I just didn't want to get out just to do something, just to be doing something. I want to get out there and do something that I love, something that I felt that would benefit people, and something that I can sustain over a long period of time, because I don't want to get in, get out, and not continue to do what I do. So that's why I wanted to start to do this show. Now, I feel that if you tune in to listen to somebody, or somebody, talking about information and doing different things, I felt that it's necessary that you have some background and some information on that person. Now, I'm an open book, and you can ask me anything or know anything about me, and I'll be willing to tell you. But I felt that I definitely need to so I'm gonna give you like a quick synopsis of my background and my upbringing and different things like that. So I was born and raised in Chicago, kind of skipping over some things. I went to Collins High School, graduated from Collins High School, go Cobras. From Collins High School, I attended Southern Illinois University in Carbondale. I got my degree in business management and marketing. In Carbondale, I met my best friends for life, my brothers. We don't even call each other friends. We call each other family and brothers. I met them in Carbondale. So after I graduated from school, I came back to Chicago. I couldn't find a job, of course. So I ended up working a series of low-paying jobs or seasonal jobs, doing it, the seasonal job thing. So then eventually I ended up working a job at this group home that was ran by Maryville Academy. They had opened up a group home in Inglewood on 51st and Elizabeth called St. John of God. And I ended up working in that job. I love that job. Oh my God, I love that job. That was the best job ever at that time. And so a coworker of mine, I'll never forget her. I could see her face. Her name was Nicole. I can't remember her last name. She and I were talking. I said, hey, you know something? This is my field. This is where I belong. And she said, well, Kevin, this is social work. She said, but you can't make any money with just a bachelor's degree. She said, if you want to make money as a social worker, you're going to need a master's degree. You're going to have to go to grad school. I'm like, grad school? I'm like, hell no. I ain't going back to school. I'm done with school. I said, that's all they told me I needed was a bachelor's degree. I said, I'm done with school. She said, Kevin, you're not going to make any money. And then she said the magic words. She said, a black man with a master's degree? She said, you can write your own ticket. You can name your price. That's all she had to tell me. So then she said, you're lucky because the best grad school in the country, the best social work school in the country, probably one of the best social work school in the world is here in Chicago. I'm like, what school is that? She said, Jane Addams. I said, Jane Addams? I never heard of that. Where is that? She started laughing at me. She at USC because she had a degree in social work. She says at UIC. She said, but it's very competitive and very hard to get in. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I left St. John of God. I worked this other job. I will tell you about that in future shows. Didn't like that job, so I ended up working at Chicago Christian Industrial League. Chicago Christian Industrial League was a transitional shelter, and they serviced homeless people. And most of the homeless people there, if not all of the homeless people there, were recovering from drug and alcohol addiction and or mental illness. And I love that job. And I'm gonna talk about this honestly in great detail. That job challenged me and my upbringing and my foundation. And that job let me know how ignorant I was, how close-minded I was, and how my capacity was very, very low. Because at that time, I felt that mental health was a fallacy. I thought it was a fraud. I thought it was something that they made up to kind of justify men doing some of the most horrendous crimes that you could ever commit. That's what I thought until I got in this field. And I loved it, man, I loved it. And it was a great agency to work for because they sent us to a lot of professional development around drug and alcohol addiction, drug and alcohol recovery, and also mental illness. So we went to a lot of professional development. And at this time, I had gone back to school and going back to school. I was in grad school at Jane Addams at the time that I was working here at that facility. And so I was a case manager, and our job was to help people get transition from the shelter into an apartment, normally a studio apartment. And so that can entail, work study, getting a GED, going to college if they want to go to college, or some type of work program, or learning a skill, a trade. So And also part of our job was we had to go to NAAA meetings. And if you ever want to understand and know what people who have an addiction to drugs and alcohol are going through, if you ever want to know their struggles, please just attend one of those meetings. I don't know if, it's probably virtual now because of the pandemic, but when the pandemic is over, they have what they call open meetings where anybody can go, and it's anonymous. And then they have closed meetings, but the closed meetings I don't think you can go to, but you can definitely go to open meetings. But we used to go to the meetings all the time, and it was amazing. And one thing I loved about, and I love that, John, one thing I loved about working with people in recovery, they were no nonsense, they were blunt, they told you the truth, they didn't care about how you felt, your feelings and hurtness or anything like that. They just told you straight out. And that's what I like. I like for you to be direct and, and tell me. And so it was a program. We had the program there. And part of the program was they followed the big book in a 12-step program. And they also had sponsors. So they had somebody to help mentor them through and work through the program because you had to work through the steps. And so working through the steps and educating yourself about your recovery and about your addiction, they used to have these sayings, like quick sayings, so it could stay with you, so it can keep you on track and keep you in your recovery and bring back to your memory all the stuff that you've learned, so you won't forget it. And so some of the sayings were stinking thinking, don't go around people, places, and things, one day at a time. It works if you work it, keep working it. One drink is too many, 1,000 is never enough. And all of them resonated with me, but the one that really stayed with me, the one that really I use all the time in my life is this one here. If nothing changes, then nothing changes. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So, and I felt that was so powerful because you can apply that to anything in life. Anything in life. And I remember when I wanted to start going back to the gym and I wanted to lose some weight. And I was sitting there, drinking my Coke, drinking my coffee, eating a donut, like, man, I want to lose weight, man, I want to lose weight. And this would come to my mind. If nothing changes, then nothing changes. So you got to do something. You got to make changes in your life. So again, I started the process of changing what I eat. I started going to the gym, which I can't go anymore. That's a killer, but that's another story. But I started going to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, doing my workout, and then I started gaining muscle, losing weight. So that's why I feel that this is important. And that's why I think this is important also for what we're going to talk about as far as self-care and self-love. So after I left CCIL, I ended up graduating with my master's degree in social work, and I ended up coming and working for Chicago Public Schools, where I'm now employed, working at the high school. And so working there, working there, you really don't understand the need for mental health and mental awareness. You really don't. And you really don't know how starved a community is for support and for resources. And I learned that firsthand in being in my high school, because in my training, it was about dealing with children. But I saw so many parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles who would come in my office and sit and talk to me for hours. Talk to me for hours, not complaining, not mad, but like, I need somebody to talk to. I need to get this out. And a lot of times they kind of was insightful and realized a lot of mistakes that they made in their life, even going back on how they, when they were growing up, and the opportunities missed in high school, and how people were trying to put them on a track, and how they parent their children the same way, and they kind of getting the same results. So they would come in my office, and because they had no other place to go, they had no mental health facility, they had no counseling, they had no therapy in the community. So that struck me immediately. And so at the school that I was at, I was trying to start a parenting group. And because I wanted to kind of give parents that information, give parents the support that they need so they can have self-care, so they can be able to take care of their children. But of course the pandemic hit, so they kind of struck that down. So in my mind, I felt like, hey, I need to do something. I need to help. And I feel that I do have a lot of information just from my education and also from my experience and my self-experience that I can kind of give to people so they can be able to take care of themselves, so they can be able to take care of somebody else and kind of hopefully, give them hope, give them inspiration and motivation. So how did I get, so now that's kind of how I got into the field and how I wanted to start this video. But I just want to tell you a story about myself real quick and how I know that it works. I was going through a custody fight, with the mother of my children. And I was getting dog walked. I mean, the judge, everybody was on me, dog walking me left and right. So it was during the summer, and my best friend Dave's father had passed away. My best friend Dave stays in Dallas. And so the funeral was in Peoria. So me, my best friend Eric, Al, and Ken, we all drove to Peoria to support my friend, our boy. And so while we was at the burial, me and Eric were kind of talking, and Eric said, something, this is the first time I've been at a funeral since my mom died. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. We never talked about or discussed, your mother's passing. So he said, to make a long story short, he said his mother had diabetes, but she didn't want to take the insulin. So she ended up being on dialysis. So the doctor had told the whole family that, hey, look, there's nothing more we can do. The best thing you could do is take her home and make her as comfortable as possible. Now, Eric agreed with the doctor, and his mom agreed with the doctors, but his siblings didn't. So, of course, there was a division, an argument, a fight. And so Eric is an early riser, and he liked to exercise and run. He's like a fanatic like that anyway. So he said he went for a run, and he came back, and he sat on his porch, and he just started crying. He said he couldn't stop crying. And then he said, after he got through crying, he got up, he went in there, he called his sibling and said, hey, look, I'm out the decision making. Whatever decision that you all make, I'm agree with you 100%. So I kind of caught feelings. I'm like, dude, how you gonna give up on your mother like that, man? You got to fight for your mother. You had to fight for her. And he looked at me and said, Calvin, you're the most stubborn person I have ever met in my life. And he said to me, you got to learn to let go. You got to let go. So after the funeral, I came back home. And then at this time, I was taking my twins to preschool. So I took them to preschool. And then after I dropped the twins off, I was coming back and I was about to get on the elevator and I hit the button to go down. And I promise you, this was God. I heard God's voice. I truly heard God's voice. And God said to me, Calvin, let go. He said, this is not your fight. He said, as long as you're fighting, I can't fight for you. You got to let go, son. You got to let go. Now, mind you, this is contradictory to my whole life. Because my whole life, that's all I know how to do is fight. That's it. I had to fight to play football in high school. I had to fight to be on a track team. I had to fight to graduate from high school. I had to fight to graduate from college. That's all I had to fight for. Whatever car I bought, whatever job I got, whatever clothes I bought, whatever trips I took, I had to fight for everything. So that's all I know. I only know how to fight. That's it. So to tell me I had to let go, I'm like, that was just counterproductive to me. I didn't know how to take that. So eventually I did. So I went home, and then he also said to me, in order for you to gain control, you have to lose control, which definitely makes no sense to me. So anyway, I left, I came home, and the letting go was in my brain. And I didn't want to let go. And the reason why I didn't want to let go, because letting go meant that I had to let go all those people that hurt me, all those people that betrayed me, all those people that let me down, all those people that turned their back on me, that lied on me, lied to me, that hurt me, that wasn't there when I needed them, that used me, that took advantage of me. I had to let all those people, and I didn't want to let them go because I felt that something had to happen to them, that karma had to get them. And once karma get them and I see that karma got them, hey, cool, then I'm let go. Hey, you got what you deserve. It wasn't by my hands. Now, that's one thing I'm not a spiteful person. I'm not a revengeful person, but I truly believe that you cannot treat people like garbage and think that good things is going to happen to you. So I do believe in karma, but I'm like, okay, I want karma to happen. When karma happened, then I let go. And so in going through this process, I realized something, that letting go wasn't for them. Letting go was for me. That if I didn't let go, I couldn't grow. I couldn't develop. I couldn't be who I was intended to be. Not letting go stopped me on my journey. It was like a barricade, and it wouldn't let me continue on my journey to who I'm supposed to be and how I'm supposed to grow and evolve and develop. Not only that, that barrier kept me from meeting positive people, from meeting people who loved me, who helped me along on my journey, who helped me to grow, who wanted to be in my life. But as long as I got this toxic in my life, this poison, I would never meet them and I would never grow. I would never be where I am now. So letting go wasn't for them. Letting go was for me. So I can let go all that poison. Because I was poisoning myself. I was laying on the couch depressed, down, didn't want to do nothing, didn't want to meet anybody, and I couldn't let go. So letting go was difficult. And for me, I'm a visual learner. I learn through vision, auditory and thinking. I need visualization. So after a couple of days, I would still have all this anger and madness and hatred, and I could and then I would think about let go and it would be too late. Then I was up at 10 at that point. So I'm like, listen, I need to do something different. So what I did was, because I love index cards. I think index cards is the best invention ever. I love index cards. So what I decided to do is that working in public schools, teachers are amazing. I love teachers. And so working in the school systems, I learned that everybody learns with all of your senses. The best way to learn is with all of your senses, because that way your mind is able to retain it and to feel it and to remember it and keep it. And then you're likely to use it. So what I decided to do is I got me some index cards. And so what I did was I wrote breathe and let go. Breathe and let go. And just like this here, that people in recovery use these things to remind them of how far they come in their recovery and to stay on that path. Letting go, just those two words, represents letting go of the hurt, the pain, the abandonment, the feeling of inadequacies, the insecurities, the low self-esteem, the self-loathing, the not feeling loved, not feeling valued, not feeling wanted. This right here, two words, let go, represented everything that I've always wanted. So I took these here and I placed them in my mirror, on my vanity in my bathroom. I took it and I placed it on my wall in my bedroom. In my bedroom, I placed it on my wall. So when I woke up in the morning, boom, that was the first two words, those the first two cards that I saw. I posted on my refrigerator. I posted on the door that leads out to my apartment, and I posted on the wall when I walk into my apartment that I see. And I did, and I would read it because I saw it. So I want to use all of my senses. So I saw the card, I read it out loud, breathe, I did it, and let go. So I was seeing it, hearing it, saying it, and feeling it. And I did that all the time. Now, if you would like, some people are into candles. I'm not really into candles too much. I mean, they're okay, but I'm not into candles. But if you would like, you can, light a candle. And so when you breathe and let go, you can have that certain smell or lotion or a body wash or whatever, if you want the smell sense also to be a part of that. And so when you get that smell, then you know to release and let go. And so I didn't do this every day. I did not do it every day. When I first started, I was doing this 40 times a day. I counted 40 times a day. Because every time I think about something, it got me stirred up again. And so doing this, I was doing it 40 times a day. Then I was only doing it 30 times a day. Then 20 times. Then 10 times. Now I don't use the cards at all. And when I get that emotional high and all those feelings of inadequacy and feeling unloved and stuff start coming to me, first thing coming to my mind, let go. Let go. And I breathe, let go. And I'm not going to tell you that I don't get caught up sometimes in some stuff, because I do. But then I pull myself back and I breathe and I let go. And I'm telling you, this works. And what I also learned is that everything in life is a process. Everything is a process. It's a process of self-care. And you have to start somewhere of building a base and building a foundation and working your way from there. Some days you're going to feel like you're making a lot of progress, and then some days you don't feel like you're making any progress, and then some days you're going to feel like you're making no, and you went backwards. But I'm telling you, it works. And this, for me, I felt was the first step into me caring about myself and taking care of myself so I can be able to take care of other people. And it was a part of me releasing. So I can continue to grow, I can continue to evolve, and I can continue to take care of my children, my twins. So that's why this was so important to me, that I had to learn how to take care of myself, and this was part of the process. And as we go along in more shows, one of the hardest things that I had ever learned how to do was learn to forgive myself. And that was difficult, and I promise you that we'll go into that discussion. And so that's what this show is going to be about, and what the Facebook page is going to be about. So I'm going to post this stuff on the Facebook page, and I'm going to post, of letting go. And I'm not saying that you have to use breathe or let go. You can put anything that you want on index cards, whether it's, you are beautiful, you are loved, you did whatever. But if you put it up there and you see it every day, then eventually it will become a part of you, of letting go and breathe, a part of whatever that you want to put on your index cards. That's why I feel that it's so important, and that's why I feel that you got to have them throughout your house. So that's why this is definitely that first step. Also, I think that part of self-care, excuse me, is that I'm gonna have something on each show up here whenever I can, or something in the background to kind of, get at you, to remind you. And part of self-care is that you got to be brave. You got to be strong, and you have to be fearless. And the other one right here, if you can see it right here, I think I got it in the camera, it says, invest in yourself. And that's self-care right there, investing in yourself. So that's why I wanted to do this show, and I want to let you know that I wanted a show to feel good, to inspire people, to give them inspiration, and hopefully to give you hope, and just to make you feel good and give you information that I think that's important that you need. So the next show that I'm going to do a show on suicide awareness. September is Suicide Awareness Month, and I definitely want to do a show on suicide. Because I think it's important. Because I think it's important that we dispel a lot of myths about blacks and suicide, and that we don't commit suicide, or suicide people are weak, or they're selfish. And I want to get rid of that myth. And also, I'm not going to be just talking. This is the first show, and I just want to establish this, so that's why I'm doing all the talking on the show. But next week I'm gonna have a guest on the show, and my guest is gonna be Jackie Brown. That's my girl. I love her to death. She's an amazing, not only an amazing woman, she's an amazing person. And she's going to be on my show. And the reason that Jackie's going to be on my show, because on September 13th, her son committed suicide 6 years ago on September 13th. And so I am blown away that she agreed to come on the show and talk about suicide, to get the information out, so she can talk to you about what she went through, what she's going through, and what she learned, what can she share, and how do you support people that are going through something traumatic like this, and what are support systems and resources that are available to people who are going through this. And we definitely gonna put that information up, and definitely let you have it. So the next show is gonna be Jackie Brown. Also, I got a Facebook page with this, and so I'm gonna put this on my Facebook page. The Facebook page is Your Journey. Let me just tell you that I'm not tech savvy at all. I have no tech savvy at all. I'm not social media savvy at all. So please excuse the video or the sound or anything like that, because I'm building this plane as I fly it. But I think the name of the Facebook page is Your Journey. I think it's live. I think it's public. But if it's not, it's definitely connected to my Facebook page. And my Facebook page is Kevin James Jackson. So if you want to send me a friend request, that's fine. I accept it. Or I think mine is public, so you can just go on in and see it anyway. But it's Your Journey, and I'm going to put self-care on there. I'm putting mental health and definition of self-care, and also I'm going to put these things up there, and sort of like the reminder of you of letting go, so you can let go and begin the process of self-care. And so this is going to be one of many shows that I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about drug addiction. I'm going to be talking about recovery. I'm going to be talking about, and again, I'm going to have people on the show because I don't know everything. And I'm going to be talking about verbal abuse and physical abuse and sexual abuse. I'm also going to be talking about how people manipulate through gaslighting, using shame and using guilt, using isolation, using I'm not going to talk to you, using these different methods and these different strategies, and they're used to control people. But I've been talking a lot. I'm not going to go into that, but I promise you these are shows that's going to be coming up in the future, and I'm definitely going to have people on the show to kind of talk about and discuss it, so you just won't be hearing my voice all the time and getting worn out. But again, thank you so much for being a part of this show and for listening to me. Also, it's on Facebook, but I'm also going to post it to YouTube. So if you want to go to YouTube, you can watch it. And I don't know how the YouTube video thing work or how you can find it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it, the site of YouTube or whatever, on my Facebook page, and also on Your Journey page. And I'm going to put all that information on there as well. So if you want to leave comments, or if you want a show or something that you want me to discuss and talk about, please just let me know. Leave comments. If you don't want to leave any comments, you ain't got to leave any comments at all. I don't have any problem with that. I just feel that I am fulfilling a need with inside of me by doing this and getting this out. And I'm just appreciative that I got this chance and that's an opportunity. So thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you the best. Remember, love never fails. So please, support each other, hug each other, check on each other, call each other, text each other, and just show people that you love and care for each other, and that the only way we're going to make it through this, we got to do it together. So thank you so much, and thank you for watching this show of Your Journey. Again, I'm your host, Kevin James Jackson, and I just want to tell you that peace, love to you. Have a great, great week, and we'll see each other next time. Bye.